All right, just moments ago in Los Angeles, a chorus of supporters speaking out for convicted murderers Lyle and Erik Menendez, whose notorious murders of their own parents captivated the public since they gunned them down more than 35 years ago. Nearly 24 members of the brothers' extended family gathered today, along with the brothers' attorney, Mark Garagos, frequent guest on this show. Their message, a bid to sway prosecutors who are now reviewing the convictions of these two brothers, which could lead to their possible release.
I am here to ask the district attorney's office to take into account the full picture, the truth that was hidden for so long. Lyle and Erik deserve a chance to heal, and our family deserves a chance to heal with them.
Lyle and Erik Menendez have been behind bars for more than 30 years after being sentenced to life without the possibility of parole for their parents' murders. They argued in court that the murders were in self-defense after years of abuse by their father. Prosecutors said the brothers were driven by greed. The case was polarizing. A few people at that time actually believed in sexual abuse claims that involved boys and a father. So their first trial ended in a mistrial. Their second trial, where testimony of that abuse was not allowed, resulted in the convictions of first-degree murder for both brothers. The legal saga has drawn renewed interest recently, thanks largely to Netflix, which released 2 shows on the case just in the last few weeks. One was a true crime miniseries, the other a documentary featuring the brothers in their own words, speaking out from behind bars, telling their side of the story. There is also renewed interest from Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon. He announced earlier this month he is reviewing new evidence in the case, which includes a letter that recently surfaced, a letter that Erik wrote to his cousin 8 months before the murders, alluding to a pattern of sexual abuse that he had been enduring from his father, Jose Menendez. So the question now, is it all enough to set the brothers free? Joining us now live from Los Angeles is NewsNation correspondent Nancy Liu. Nancy, what more is the family saying at this news conference just now?
Oh, they had a lot to say, Elizabeth, and this was a remarkable news conference that wrapped less than an hour ago. And now many of those Menendez relatives, they have made their way over to the office of District Attorney Gascon, hoping to further pressure him for resentencing or a retrial. And as you pointed out, Elizabeth, he has already vowed to review that case. But today, relatives of the brother repeatedly asking for the Menendez brothers to be released. They're pointing out that they've been rehabilitated. And perhaps the most compelling sound that we heard today came from the 93-year-old sister of Kitty Menendez. Take a listen.
For many years, I struggled with terms with what happened to my sister's family. It was a nightmare none of us could have imagined. But as details of Lyle and Erik's abuse came to light, it became clear that their actions, while tragic, were the desperate response of 2 boys trying to survive the unspeakable cruelty of their father.
Now, she and Mark Garagos, multiple relatives, talking about how Lyle and Erik are now 56 and 53 years old. They are rehabilitated. They are both college graduates. They counsel others in prison, and they have worked hard. But you've heard about new evidence in this case, and that includes a letter. The letter you mentioned that Erik wrote to his cousin Andy 8 months before the murders. Part of it reads, "I've been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. I can't explain it. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night I stay up thinking he might come in. I need to put it out of my mind." There is also a signed declaration by Roy Rossello. He's a former member of the boy band Menudo, who says Jose Menendez molested him as well back in the 80s. As you know, Elizabeth, Jose Menendez was a music executive and worked with that group, Menudo.
All right, Nancy Liu reporting live from Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.